That is better. Our relationship will be best served if your statements are free of ambiguity.
Good morning. How are you doing? So, it's going to be probably a quick one this morning. So we're going to give this a go. We're going to swap this over and just give this a go and upgrade. Just oh, I'm not actually watching the stream. I was waiting for the I was waiting for the sound to come through. Here it is. So let me just do some housekeeping. Okay, so what's it all about today? Episode 33, the FT-891S software, S for software. Now going to be incorporating the Mark's FT891 interface. He's watched me struggle trying to create a good interface, and he's couldn't watch me struggle anymore, so he's gone ahead and spent about 2-3 days on it creating an interface. So anyway, I tried it out last episode and it seemed to work out pretty well, so we're gonna try and see if we can implement it in the radio, and hopefully it'll take this to another level. Okay, let's get on with it. So I'm just going to open up Visual Studio. So I'll put a link down in the comments to the repo, or the wiki, sorry, the wiki for it, which will take you to the GitHub for it. So I've now got to find the actual rig program. Here it is. So at the minute we're using a serial, just a serial and some kind of derived information, exchange of back and forth. We're using this serial protocol, partially made. It does work, but it's I was partially trying to implement a new interface. Well, I didn't know it was going to be called an interface. Some other way of doing it. I was trying to wrap it up in what did I do with that? I actually put it somewhere. I don't know where I put it. What did I call it? Some new thing I was creating. Can't find it now. Anyway, we're going to get rid of that slowly, not at the minute, but what I need to do is disable the current serial loop. So let's show you what we've got already before we break it. So it's attached to the radio. So we've got this so far. We're doing some work on it. We've got various screens, which are some sort of implemented, some not. So we've got this, we're doing the waterfall bit, so we can do a sweep now. That's designed to work with the span, so if you go sort of 10k, it's basically, yeah, we've got to sort that out, and it won't currently do 200k, it sort of stops short, so we're going to sort that out, but this is not what we're doing today. Stops there, so it sort of works down here, and we've got some simulated waterfall going on, just the start of it. I've got a lot of work to do on that yet, but anyway, so what we're doing today is the communication from the software to the radio and from the radio back. We're going to replace the existing interface. So, and it'll allow us to do a lot more stuff with it and easier. Yeah, supposed to be easier. It will be. It will be easier. So, and it might actually speed things. Well, it should speed things up a bit as well. Instead of doing these CAT commands all that with the delay and everything everywhere, and having to have a loop for receive. We'll still have to have a loop, I think. We'll have a loop. So in this loop, we're going to have a loop that runs, but based on what mode you're in, different lots of instructions will be sent and received. So you can't send everything at once. You've got to, it's a serial. The nature of serial, it's queued up. It's in a serial. You send the data serially, so you've got to get a response back, update the UI, and update the rig from the UI, and all this kind of stuff. And if you try to do too much, it's just going to slow everything down. So, but I'm thinking we can do a lot more than we're doing now. Anyway, let's crack on with it. We haven't got much time. So we've got two functions here. The handle CAT. This is what currently is handling the serial data in this kind of format. We're having to do a lot of this. So every time we see a CAT command like this, we're going to have to a new approach for the receive. The transmit will be a similar approach, but I think the receive is going to be done in line sort of thing. Yeah. So if we press a button and say what is the frequency, it's going to come back with the frequency. That's the idea. At the minute, it's coming back to this serial event handler CAT, and it's having to examine each code individually, just checking if this received data is equal to it. So we're going to have to replace these two. So if we take it out of the system, let's just make sure we've got some audio. At the minute, yeah. So if we end up taking it out of the system temporarily, we'll lose control of it at the minute. But I've got to see how we're going to implement it. So what I need to do first is put the library in, if I haven't already done it. So we're going to go ahead and add the library. It's the NuGet package. Mark's created a NuGet package for us. So I'm going to search FT891 core. There it is. So I'm going to install that. He's done version 1.2. Now, have I already installed it? I don't think so. Let's try it. Right, let's see if there's any new versions. No, that's it. That's the new version. Oh, we've already got it in. So we need to update it. So let's just update it to the new one. Okay, let's update that to the new one. He's made a little bit of a change to it. So anyway, is that done? That's probably done. Let's see what updates we've got here. Nothing. Right, so I'll close that. So we've got to replace our serial port stuff. So right, so we don't have to do a great deal with it. So we could probably do it from the main here. So let's go through the process again. So we need to include it probably. Let's just try and put it in without. So first thing we'll do is create a global variable. Now we don't want it to match our existing one, which is this one here, because we don't want it to get mixed with that one. So I'll create one up here. So let's create this one above this. We've got to try and find it. So it's not coming up immediately, so we're gonna have to do a using. Tell you what, let's load up another Visual Studio with a working bit of code, so we can just make it quicker. There it is. Okay. So we're just going to pop this into here. Okay, I don't think it's there already. Yeah, that's okay. Right, so now we should be able to put in this. Let's find it. It's not finding it yet. I wonder why that is. Anyway, we'll put it in based on this one. Maybe it was there, it's just, yeah. I think it was there, just looking for the wrong name. Let's try it again. Oh, there it is. Okay, so we've got to give it a name. I'm just going to call it the same name, I think. So we'll call it that, but we'll change the F to that. We don't need to reference the serial port anymore because it could be changed to work TCP as well, I believe. So that's a future thing we're going to be wanting to do with it. So I'll put that in there. Let's create it up. It's going to fight for the serial port, so we'll have to stop the serial port being used directly. If I take it away, it's going to break a lot of the code. Maybe that's a good idea. So what I need to do is I need to put a wrapper around. Yeah, there'll be a lot of stuff to change. So let's just see how far we can get with this one. So let's go down to in front of this one. Right. Right, I'm probably doing the wrong thing there. Let's go back to refer back to this. So here it is. Oh yeah, so it must have it's got different overloads on it, so I'll just do that. Okay. Right, I should set that up. Okay, so we need to stop doing this new. It's going to be a problem. Just trying to think if I can link it temporarily to a COM port that hasn't got anything on it. It'll try and use it, but it might be a bit of a problem. But let's just go in device manager, see what we've got. Maybe there's one we can just pretend we're connected to. I've got a COM8 and COM7. Oh, that's the actual radio itself. Yeah. Could be confusing. What about if I plug in one of my controllers? I'll tell you what. Let's plug in something. Yeah. I'll plug in this ESP32. It's got a COM port. So I've got a charge lead somewhere. Let's just plug that in. I think one of them's a data port. Let's have a look. Is it for? Yeah. So I'm going to plug that in temporary, just to take away the port. I know it sounds crazy, but yeah. Crazy to do that, but oops, about to get shorted out then if we're not careful. Right, so it's COM3. I just want something to connect physically to something so it doesn't error. So I'm going to change my L1 to COM3. I'm not sure what would go on here, but let's try and build it. It's using the same serial port, but it should be able to handle more than one. I've used it in mine. I've created more than one. Right, so that was built okay. So let's have a quick look back over here. So the first thing we've got to do is connect to it. So, and we've called it radio, so I suppose we could call it radio. Connect to the radio, yeah, makes sense. Good terminology. So let's change that then. So let's change it while we got the chance. So it's this one. We're going to call it radio, and we'll rename that radio. So sending and receiving to and from the radio, so it makes perfect sense. Okay, so we're going to initialize it down here. We're going to connect to it, so we want to connect when the window's loaded. So we'll go and find a Windows loaded. Here it is. So we're going to actually radio connect. So we're going to automate the connection and the disconnection, and we'll do the disconnect as well. Disconnect. There we go. We've got the disconnect and connect set up. That's a good thing. Okay. Now, so if we crash out, oh yeah, that window's loaded and closing. Oh, closing. Why have I got two closing? Oh, that's weird. We've got two of them. That's strange. A lot of occurrences there. They're exactly the same, aren't they? Main window closing. Right, okay, we've got two. Let's move them into one then. Move them into one and get rid of one. See if we can still compile. We only got one loading, haven't we? Yeah. Okay, let's just see if it still likes what it sees. No. Doesn't contain one for closing. Well, what is that then? Right, so go to the definition. Okay, it wants to, some reason, create it, even though it looks exactly the same to me. But we'll replace the other bit with this bit then. So that's the closing it wants to use, so we'll put everything in this one. That's the weirdest thing I've ever seen. Object sender, closing, oh, that's main window and yeah, sorry, my mistake. So I initially created it without a metro window, and we did a main window closing, but now it's got to be a metro window closing. That's fine. Okay, that'll do the trick now. So that should compile. Yeah, that's okay. So we've got the start and the stop, so all we need now is issue a command. So I suppose we ought to test it really. Now I'm going to have to prevent the other port from starting. So the start serial loop, I think we'll turn it off. Won't implement that. I'll tell you what, let's find all references to it. If it's got more than one, yeah it has. So I'm going to go into the serial loop, go to the definition, and I'm actually going to just leave it in there, but I'm not going to. I'm going to take that out like that, so it won't actually do anything. And the stop serial loop, I think I'll do the same. Just, it might cause a bit of a problem if it's no longer been started. Right, so the functionals will still run, they just won't do anything. Right, so now back to the main. So the first thing we need to do is, well, let's just run it. It shouldn't do anything, it shouldn't error, it should just do nothing. Right, denied access to the ports is denied. Right, is that because I have not changed something? Ah, yeah, we've got it down here. We've got a separate command to it. Yeah, so I need to change that to COM3, or not do anything with it. Not open the port. So I'm gonna have to open the port. Start a serial loop. We don't want to do that. Okay, let's give that a go. Another go. Let's see if we can bring up the UI. Oh, there's another problem. Right, so the UI is up. It's obviously not doing anything now, even though it's connected to the radio, and I'm doing the radio, and I'm doing this. So at least it's not erroring. So now we've got to find and replace. Let's just see if I can set the radio. So I'll copy a bit of code from here. I'm going to set the VFO frequency to that, and then get the frequency. So we'll use this one. So I'll put that in here. We'll just put it in here. Right, so let's put it somewhere. Just there for now. It needs to be an async function. So I'll tell you what, we'll create a little bit of a thing here. Test new FT891 CAT. I'll put that in there, and we'll also grab this one. Okay, we could probably just grab the whole thing there. So we'll set it and we'll run it in a loop. Run a bit of a loop. So take that out of there. So what we're going to do is just set the radio. And we're going to interact directly with, let's interact directly with the frequency. Let's find the frequency. Just got to find the frequency. I could just interact directly with the sub-frequency just for testing. Main frequency text block, there it is. I might as well do the main frequency text block. So we're going to change that for the text. and we need to format it. So we need to format this. So get rid of that, and we'll do a format frequency, I think it is. Where is it? Can't find it. Format. What did I call it now? Right, okay, so I'll go into the serial one and find that bit. Serial event received and format the frequency. I don't remember the name of that. So handle the frequency. Set frequency. Let's go to that routine. Here it is, format frequency. Yeah, that should do it just for this test. So I'll put L in there. It doesn't know where format frequency is, so I guess we'll go to that. I don't know where it is either. It's in frequency. Yeah. So it's in frequency management. And it would have to be a small f. Yeah, that'll do that. Okay, so this should be able to do this loop. So if I set frequency and then we get in it, should be able to turn the knob on the radio and it change the label. And it'll initially set the frequency to that. So let's run it up and see what we got. This should be plain sailing with no problems. No, we've got a bit of a problem straight away. Port not open. Okay. I wonder why that is. Is it because we're still loading? Initial start up? No, maybe. So we probably need not to do that there. So we probably need to do it somewhere else. So we'll do it off. What about the window loaded? Okay, so let's do it off window loaded. Oh no, no, that's wrong. Hang on. Right, maybe that'll do it. But have we missed anything here? Yeah, we've missed something here, haven't we? We haven't actually opened the serial port, or have we? Let's just have a look over here. No, I think we do it by connecting to it. There's the initialization. And connect and disconnect. Radio connect, yeah, that's all we have to do. So obviously, yeah. Let's try it again. Now we've moved that around. Unless it doesn't like the fact that the port's already in use. No. Okay. So it's set the frequency. Yes, it has. So now I can turn the dial. There we go. So that new bit is already in there. That's fine. It's working great. Yeah, that's fantastic. Fantastical. It's not what it's doing that's fantastical. as in showing the display, but the fact that it works with very minimal amount of code. We've got to sort that out. That's nothing to do with what we're doing. That's to do with this begin invoke. We need to change that somewhat. I've had this on another program and I've secured it, so I just need to handle cat message, right? So it's on received data. Yeah, we're not actually doing that. It's just the yeah, it's just something else that's going on. Anyway, it's interesting that we've got two serial ports going. One's not connected to a radio; it's just connected to a device that will ignore the instructions. So that's fine. Okay, so what else can we do? So that with the initial test was fine. So the test worked out okay. So we don't need the test anymore. So we could leave the test alone now for a while. Test worked out okay. So now we need to implement some of this stuff. Now there's loads going on. So we've got a serial loop that we're using. Well, it's a loop of things to happen. It's not necessarily a serial loop. Let's find out where it's coming from. Oh, it's without reference at the minute. So that's because we've bypassed some of it. Yeah, we didn't start it. So this was nothing to do with the serial, other than it was the loop that needed to go on. So we'll have to replace that loop. So we'll take it away from this altogether. We'll create a new one. So we'll create some. I just wonder if it can be done in frequency management. Let's have a look at frequency management. Alright, so here's the frequency management. What are we doing here? We'll just get frequency, set frequency. Is that all we're doing? Update the dial, format the frequency. Yeah. So that we'll leave that alone as it is, and we'll create a new one. So it's basically a serial loop. We could use it from there, but it's a serial loop, but it's not really. It's a command loop, and we're going to have different modes, so we need to allow for different modes. So we're going to have to create a new one. Right, let's create an entirely new one to put all our new data in it. A new class. So this one is going to be controlling the data that's been sent to the radio and received, sort of. But it's going to be able to change mode. So whichever screen mode we're in, we want to change what's being sent to the radio. So it's a management. So it's managing. It's not frequency management. It's managing what's in the initial loop. Yeah, because it'll just be one loop this time. I think. I don't know if we need a receive loop. So a bit tired. So let's take it one step at a time, but we'll need to know what we're doing with it. Now at the minute I've got my receive loop, so I'm going to need a receive loop as well. Or are we? Probably not. We definitely need a transmit loop, as in which mode we're in. We need to be requesting from the radio certain things, and then we get the information. The information will come straight back in line where it is, so we don't need the loop. So all we need is we don't need the receive loop, we just need the, all we need now is the send loop. So it's going to be depending on what mode we're in on the radio, what screen we're viewing, so what function we're in, because the radio it'll request different things at different times depending on what we're doing. So it's a send, it's managing send, but the same thing can also do the receive straight away. So yeah, it's so it's like a fetch loop. It's a fetch loop, really. It's but it's switch the mode. You got to switch on what mode what mode the display mode is in. Yeah. Okay, so it's handling packets, basically, sort of, not really. It's cool. I don't know what it's doing. So I don't normally have trouble with names, but this one's so we got. It's no longer a serial port, but it's the display loop, CAT control. Yeah, it's CAT control to display. Yeah, because some modes or display modes won't be fetching anything. Maybe. Yeah, just give us the ability to turn all the updates off that's coming in. So whichever display mode we're in, we might be just in a settings mode where nothing happens. Right, I can see it, I just can't think of a name. What we're going to call it? Does it even matter? I'm going to call it an FT891S loop. What have I got? So underscore. I'll just call it a main. I don't like the word loop. Cycle. Display. It's linked with the display. So display. CAT display cycle, main cycle, CAT cycle. Okay, so we're going to call it a CAT cycle. CAT cycle. Nah, sounds crazy. Display. So whatever display mode you're in, whatever display mode you're in, it will be sending. So display CAT commands. Yeah. I'm going to call it a display loop, I think. Because it is updating the display, it just happens to be doing some CAT commands. Display loop, that'll do. I could always change it another time. Right, so first thing we've got to do is make this public. Right, so we need to do the same idea we've got over here on the display loop. So copy some of this code over. Same kind of thing. Then we want the actual loop. Here it is. And at the minute we need to maintain this loop as it is, but without Yeah, so we want that loop because that's basically what we need to refresh the display so far. So if I, yeah, so it's, I'll call it a display loop. Well, that's going to be the same as constructor, so probably not a good idea. Right, so we need, that needs to go into the other bit. Hang on. So it needs to go in here. I've messed it up a bit now. So I've got an extra thing going on here. Right, we've messed it up a bit, so we got that there. It seems to want another one, don't know why. So there's your class. Okay, so I'll put it down there. Right, so we need to pass in main window, so let's just get that passed in as well. So we'll pass in main window, COM port name, no, nothing to do with the COM port at the minute. So main window. Right, we need a constructor because this is just the loop. We can't have that. Oh yeah, we can call that display loop. Yeah. So we want a constructor next. Public FT891 display loop. I was about to put that in for us. No, we don't want the cancellation token, although we might do. Let's just get rid of that a minute. Right, so there's your constructor. Here's a main loop, display loop. Oh, that's it. There. That's fine. Right, so we need to alter this a bit now. We need to pass in main windows. Anything else we need to pass? Send cat. This is going to be done, so we need to send the cat command stuff into it, which is radio. I need to be able to send radio in. So it's FT891 CAT and it's radio. So we need to do that over here. So we're going to pass that in again. So this radio equals a radio. Yep. Right, so we've got that passing in. So anything else we need to pass in? Not at this stage now. Oh, we've got main window. That's okay. So we're gonna have to change some of this. Change it to radio. I'll sort that out now. Maybe, right. Let's set this up. So we're gonna have to set that up now. Display loop. So we want to add So we can use, has it put display loop in now? I'll put it in here using I don't know why it's come up static. Does it have to be static? Maybe. Right, so it wants the word static, I don't know why. Display loop. Okay, so we're using display loop. So we need to set up the display loop. Where do we set it up? After radio? I guess so. That's the wrong one. So what I'm gonna have to do now is set up a I'll go up here. I'll do it here. Public display loop. So I'll just call it display loop. Simple as that. And we'll call this one display loop equals a new display loop. So we want to pass in this and radio, although we haven't started the display loop yet. Okay, we're passing the radio in, but that's okay. We're passing it in, but we don't have to start it yet. We're not starting it from the constructor, so we're going to just set up this display loop. We need to be able to cancel it and stuff. So, right, so we need to replace these commands with the new ones. Let's replace some of them. So the first one is asking for the freak. We don't need the delay anymore. That's built in now to the Mark's built that in, so I think. So we're going to literally do that same command we did earlier. We had a bit of sample code here. So we're requesting the frequency. Yeah, we're not sending data, so we're just requesting it. So we've got to request I've got to do that. So morning, Andy. How are you doing? Welcome. Trust you're okay this morning, mate. We're just doing a little bit on it before we go out shopping. The weather's rubbish up here. Cold. I've had to put the heating on. June and with the heating on. It's crazy, isn't it? So we're just going to go and we're just swapping out this old cat command. Well, I've got an old one, and I've got one I was creating that was spiraling out of control. And then we've got the new one that Mark set up for us. There's a link below in the description for anyone who wants to go and have a look at his wiki on it. So now putting it into this program, which will take it to the next level, and we should be able to then concentrate on the good stuff, the changing the frequency, the scanning and finding clear frequencies, all the good stuff we want to put into this software front end, and leave the sending and receiving of the commands to this great interface he's made for us. It's available, anyone can use it. He's put it down on his GitHub. There's a link below in the comments. Right, so I need to set the frequency. I presume if I'm... Let me just have a quick look at this. So it's set in F8, and I presume if you don't send any data, it will just send back. Don't think there's anything else going on in here. Might be. No. So it's all done here. Yeah, right. Let's just leave that alone then. Right, so if I put this command in here, copy that over to the display loop and just pop it in here, and don't put any data in. Right, so there is no argument given, that response. Right, okay. Tell you what, let's go and have a look at the wiki. Have a look at the wiki if we get stuck. Right, so there's Mark's GitHub for all this information. Let's have a look at the wiki on how we can read the frequency. So set the power, get the power, get the frequency. So yeah, so yeah, I've done the wrong command there, so I need to get the frequency. There we go. So now once we've got it, we need to do something with it. Oh no, so that's requesting the frequency, that's all we need to do, and then it needs to come back with something. So it's going to return along, so we need to actually, we need to get it there, but we also need to update it there. Yeah, so I understand now. It's gonna ask for the frequency, but it's waiting for the value back there and then. So it takes care. I don't need a separate thing to come back to. So it's, when I've changed, it'll no longer be. It's a display loop, but instead of asking for stuff, it's gonna ask it and get it all in the same loop. So we need to find the appropriate serial bit, because we're going to have to bring into here the bit that gets the frequency. So this might make the thing a little bit. So there's the asking for. Here is the handle CAT. So if it gets the frequency, it's update this bit here. So presumably it's all this is taken care of. So all we need to do is send it the text block. So we no longer need to do that. We need to interact with the text block directly. So we can do that over here. So we shall have to do something like this, and we're going to have to It's going to return a long, but we need to format it. So we need frequency management again. Dot format the frequency. No, it doesn't recognise it because we haven't passed it in. So let's pass in frequency management. Have I got it up here? No. So we'll have to do it manually, I think. Let's put that at the top. I don't like mine at the top, I like mine down here so I can see them. Just put it in at the top, so we're going to need I think we can just put it in here. So we've got main window, cat command, format, so it's a manager in it, frequency management, sorry. Frequency management. I'll put it in just here. And we'll pop it in there. Okay, that's that. So we'll have to go ahead and put it in on this constructor wherever we've done it. Yeah, so we want, there's a problem because we haven't created frequency management. Okay, so maybe, there we go. It might not like it there, seeing as we've not made it until somewhere down here. Let's just try it anyway. It should be alright because we're not going to run the loop yet until the rest of the stuff is done. Okay, so I should be able to go down here and do format the frequency. So we're gonna go, don't know if we can do this, but we'll try it. Right, what's it not liking? Cannot convert control text box. Cannot implicitly convert string, type string to right, controls text block. Right, okay. So what's this giving us? It's giving us a long, and it wants, this one's a long, so okay. Right, don't know. So let's put in a string into the text block. That's what we need, and the function needs a long, and the cat control returns a long. So maybe I'm gonna have to do something like frequency, hang on, so we're gonna have to do long frequency equals, maybe we'll have to do this first. Don't know if this will work, and then we'll just put in frequency. No, doesn't like it. What's going on? Can't convert type string to text block. Ah, sorry. Let's undo all that. Made a bit of a mistake. I just need to turn that into text. Tell it that's it. Right, okay, so theoretically that should do that. So we can get rid of this command now. I've put that one in its place. Now set mode. Okay, so it's asking for the mode, so we need the same again. So we need to go down in here and fetch the next one in the handle CAT, which is the mode. We've got frequency, read meter. No, that's not it. Mode, here's the mode. Right, so we need to update we need to do this same stuff here. We don't need the string, or I don't know if we need the hex number. Maybe he's dealt with all that. We'll try it without. Update the, yeah, so rig mode, border. So where's rig mode? Oh, out rig mode. Okay, so we could do all that. Right, let's copy that over to the main loop for this bit. Okay. Mode character, where's he getting that from? Okay. So let's have a look at, we need to, so there's the mode border, right? Oh, the mode label. Update rig mode, mode label. So that's doing all that, so we just need to give it rig mode, which is an int. But it needs to parse out something here. So we need the one for the mode now. I think that was in the wiki. Right, what we got here? Get mode async. There it is. That's the one. Oops. Get the mode async. So we need to put that in here. Alright, that's already good according to that. So mode is a variable. What's it expecting to return? An operating mode, okay. So we should be able to put mode straight into here then. Oh, what's it gonna return? An operating mode. So I just need to go and have a look at that, and have a look at operating modes. Right, so you've got your modes here, and he's put the hex values in. Yeah, so he's done the proper E number on it. That's fine as it is. So I'll need to, and it's looking for a value, an int, defaults to an int, doesn't it? Right. So it's looking for an int, and it's trying to parse out. We don't need this then. So if we make, I can just put mode straight into here and get rid of this. Don't need that anymore. Okay, so we're getting the rig mode, so we could probably just do that here. Right, why doesn't he like? Oh, it wants an enum. Sorry. Well, that is an enum, isn't it? No, let's put it back as it was. Right, so it needs to be cast as an int. Is it an int? Yeah. Unless we tell it int here. No, doesn't like that. Okay, so we'll use it as a var and we'll cast it over here. Okay, so right, let's call it rig mode, just for compatibility with what we've got already. Okay, now the message, we don't need to see the message anymore. Mode character, we don't need to see that. Oops, what's going on here? Okay, and this can now go set mode 0, so that's effectively asking for the mode. So I'll put these together, keep these together so we know it's all the same thing. So we've got the frequency, we've asked for the mode, we're updating it straight away. If rig mode is equal to send cat, oh yeah, so we've got to yeah, so we've got to so we've got rig mode, right, so we've got to send a by command, so we'll have to do that again. So I've got to send a cat a by, so which is a get. I think that's just a get. Yeah, just asking for the FM to come back with a signal strength for the FM, I think. So we should be able to do a get on, just do a get here. We're not doing anything with it at the minute. That's because it's doing it. Yeah, we need to do the equivalent. So we need to go over here and find the by. Here's the by. Rig mode. Alright, so we need to just copy this over to here again, because we're going to do it all in line now. Okay. Right, so now we need to get it. So where's it getting busy mode from? That's the byte that's coming back from the payload. Okay, so we need to do a get. So we'll put that in there. And what is the busy mode? I don't remember now. Let's have a look. Let's bring up the data sheet. by. Okay, so here's the by. RX is busy, on, off. That's all it is. So we're asking for it, and it's returning back a 0 or a 1, whether it's busy. Yeah. So we need to get that, and it'll answer with that, hopefully. Okay. So we need now to That needs to be a byte, I think. Does it? No, yeah, it needs to, well, needs to extract this data from it. So it won't be rig mode anymore, it'll be, hang on, and it won't be this. So we need to see, get, is there a BY, busy, acknowledge, async. Is that what he's called it? Mark's called it, let's have a look. Maybe that's the one, we can take a look. Yeah, BY. So it's 2 characters, yeah, 1 or 0. That's great, brilliant stuff, yeah, brilliant stuff. Get busy async. So, what we need to do now, it's going to return a bool. Okay, that's even better then. Fantastic. Bool. Rig busy. I'll tell you what, let's call it busy mode. Busy mode. So bool. Right, it was going to be a byte, so we need to change it. If busy, so, oh, sorry, if not busy, if busy, actually, green if it's busy, light grey, nothing if it's anything else, which it should never be. So get rid of that. So we've got our busy done. What else we got? Is there loads of this stuff? Some of those are the same. Oh, we're almost there, look on that. Yeah. So we could just let's see if it works. Let's just move this code for a little while. And just see what we've got. Don't think we need this anymore. The packet plus plus, do we need that still? Probably. Yeah, I don't know why we need that. Oh, yeah, it's controlling this every time we do this bit here, so we will need it in a bit. Okay, so the only thing we haven't done is display the loop. Start the display loop, so probably needs to be run display loop. Or run and stop the loop. Do display loop, yeah. Let's call it a do display loop. Right, let's build it, and so we can just do the display loop at the start. So what will this actually do? It'll get the frequency, get the mode, and the busy LED. That's about it for now. So okay, so all we've got to do is do display loop. Now it wants this token passing in. Cancellation token. So how was I using this one? Let's find out how we're doing it. Cancellation token, so find all references. Without reference, so it was done. Where was it done? Down the bottom here. Here it was, start the loop. There's a new cancellation source. Yeah, so probably we need to have the same thing going on here. we'll copy this over to the display loop. Probably put this here. So start display loop, stop display loop, and we need them back again. It's not serial loop. Task run needs to be this one now. Oops, wrong one. Right, okay, that should take care of that. So we need to find out where we were starting it. Find all references. So it's every time we start and stop the loop. Yeah, that's important to start and stop that loop. So we're doing it all over the place. So we are going to have to, that's the station seek. So for now I'm just going to start it from, I'm just going to start it from the main off a button, I think. Yeah, let's find another button we can use. So we're going to use that one for now because we're not doing anything with it. Let's go to the definition. I'll just start it here. So we got display loop. There we go. So we're going to start it there. Stopping the loop. Not going to be able to stop it at the minute. That's just to start it. We need to probably do it when we're closing if it's running. Anyway, let's just run it up without any stopping. Hold on a second. Okay, so what we got time wise, yeah. So I've run it up. I'm going to start the loop here. We've got a problem. Right, some problem there. Don't know what the problem was. Let's try it again. Right, let me move this over before we start it, or down. Object reference not sent to an instance of an object. So there's a bit of a problem here. So the reference is not set to an instance of an object. Is that because... Hang on. Let's do it again. Maybe because we haven't set that up yet. Right, let's try again. So what is it talking about? Null reference exception. Not set to an instance of an object, right? Okay. So we don't know what is not set. It's not telling us. Oh. Is it because I've not connected? Can't remember now. So I created a button to start something. That was the sweep. Oh, it automatically connects it, doesn't it? Yeah. So, it's got to be something to do with this here, starting the display loop too early. Let's get that out of there. Come down here, so we're gonna set up the frequency management. It's working there. Let's just come right down to here. Let's come down to there and see what's going on. See if that makes it any better. Don't know if it will or not. Right, I think it's going to do the same thing. Oh, throw an exception, it says. Let's see if it's tracking. No, it's no tracking. Invalid operation exception, Windows base still. Right, let's see if I can still do that. And thrown an exception. Invalid operation exception. So what is it not liking? Okay, so it's not liking that. It's probably because the async, I'm trying to set the thing straight away and it hasn't got there, maybe. Not sure. Let's just get rid of that, see if it can do the next bit. See if it can do the next bit. Need to wrap it up in a minute anyway, so we'll have to carry it on later on. So we'll go there. Right, let me change the mode to FM. Change it to FM. Don't think. No, it's not tracking anything there. So anyway, yeah. So oops, that's that one again. Right, hang on. So it didn't mind this one. But the rig mode might not have been in FM mode. Right. Okay, so we'll have to come back to that then. Yeah, so we'll come back to that. So it's a bit of a quick one today. We've got it in there. We've got it doing something. So back to the thumbnail. That was a quick one, wasn't it? Right, we'll catch you later on. Let me do some more on it. Saturday today. We've got to go out. So I'll catch you on the next one, everyone. Thanks for watching and see you in a bit. Bye bye.
Just find the right place in the program, make the appropriate change, and we'll run the whole thing again. Speech is still very complicated. Music is simpler.
Is that a question?
Yes.
The question is futile.
My interpretation of the data leaves little room for error. The art of leadership is delegation.
That information is not available. This constitutes all available data.
You know what they say, no good deed goes unpunished.